It's just... Sorry. I'm getting a little emotional, bro. Dude, people think it's easy. Being tall, handsome, strong, the greatest at everything I do. But it's so challenging.
Sup.
Sup!
Today we will be talking about the baldy maldy maniac Tyler1, and if you play League you'd have to be both blind and deaf to have never heard of him, but then again Riot has no issues finding such mythical morons absent of seemingly every human sense and matching them with me, isn't that right Yone from my last game you literal sack of Tyler1, the infamous 4'6" 6'5" muscular evolved thumb who has had quite the colorful history with this piss pit of a game, once slapped with Riot's meaty ban hammer a few years ago for behaving the same exact way that 95% of today's player base behaves. He was eventually let out of his eternal fountain sentence, guarded by Freak himself, to a return to his career as a masochist in an event on Twitch that can only be rivaled by that time Ninja played Ratchet Roblox with a rapper, or when Ludwig seemingly held a shit for 30 days so that he could stay live until he made enough money to retire. But today he is steady streaming, and the sole result for Keck wallpapering the absolute piss out of Twitch chats as if typing that holds any value at all, under the preface that he is now #reformed to keep Riot from booping his snoop with the ban hammer again, which they never would, because this Mr. Angry Potato Head mounted onto a jacked 7-year-old's body has become the biggest walking advertisement for this cancerous game, and Riot knows that even their highly produced propaganda can't compare to his impact.
So we put a lot of effort into balancing League. Now let's talk about what that looks like.
Guys, I just thought you should know Aurelion Sol's win rates are not going up, they are going down.
During a time when League of Legends content view counts are falling, his Twitch numbers are rising, which for the record does indeed allow him to say that there is at least some growth in his life. And while he may make tilting look titillating, he's still cursed with the stereotypical behaviors all of us other Rift shitters have, like seeing a new champ.
Yo, is also that new champ out?
And first timing it in rank.
I might, honest to God, just first time it.
Before even knowing how to pronounce their name.
Akshan? I thought it was like Action. AK Sean. AK Sean. It's Akshan? Akshan L, bro. Akshan L. What the Aksh?
So today we are going to see Big T fulfill his own prophecy of what happens when new champs come out.
Honestly, here's what's gonna happen. This champ is gonna be I'm telling you what's gonna happen. It'll have a 43% win rate. Oh my God, nobody knows how to play it. Oh my God, the champ's so weak. Oh wow, so weak. When it's not, people just a brand new champ.
Few minutes later.
Oh my God, that does no damage. What? Dude, okay, this is clunky. It's clunky. It's clunky. It's not my fault. I wish Q did a little bit more damage. Q feels really bad, actually.
This is T1 Alpha on Akshan Syndrome. Okay, so the game starts with him against the ginger spin slut who's designed to level up from 1 straight to 200 years, so he has an extremely small window to bully the bitch, to which he busts a premature opinion nut after the first trade.
Doesn't seem terrible, currently. The autos are actually really clean.
And I do have to say T1 is truly a man of many talents, as it's rare you come by someone with a 435 bench and the ability to predict the future to perfection.
Scared to use this grapple because I'm gonna grief it. I have no idea what it does. Like, I have no idea how this is gonna work. I'm gonna completely grief this grapple coming up.
Grief this grapple is a gentle way to put what happens as he latches onto a stone dick, then seemingly waits to check if the line is secure right before slingshotting his way into danger and compounding his chromosome diff decision with a second and hitting a flash so bad you'd actually recommend against starting an OnlyFans after seeing just the one.
Hey, whatever, bro. I had to try.
New motto coming to the T1 store soon: print this liquid hot shit now while it's fresh. So now she's a level 4 with 1 kill, meaning she has 12 dashes and enough damage to make any health bar disappear faster than a bottle of vodka at Shoenice's house. All while Alpha Akshan is struggling to kill Gryffindor babies.
Oh my God, that does no damage. What?
Then he is casually more blindly pushed up than a pair Helen Keller's tits trying to launch a career on TikTok, so to no surprise Nani Nicotine comes knocking at the back door, forcing T1 to go Tarzaning before calling their teams 200 years with one of his own, enter Diana, which starts turning the fight, but then we see streaming in front of 40,000 people Syndrome as a gold player suspiciously uses teleport at the right time, forcing quite an escape attempt out of the Alpha, and I guess he just has cantaloupe-sized man cans to have this kind of confidence right after getting killed.
By the way, if I had more than the first game, I kind of just piss on them there.
You say tomato, I say no shot in hell, but anyways, a minute later he's escorting a batch of blue babies toward their stone genocide laser as it's Swain's turn to appear on camera, forcing TT to use the tools he was given to get out of this, but I guess it was low battery or something, as he then runs away from his Diana into danger before dying and sharing some insights at his own eulogy.
Dude, okay, this is clunky. It's clunky. Dude, I should be able to press E and swing around. It's clunky. It's not my fault.
Recommending how something should work, Tyler? Need I remind you of how many years of collective game design experience you are questioning here? Then pretty much everyone has had their 6th birthday, excluding bot lane, who don't count when talking about people who matter, which also means Nocturne has found the switch to the lights and T1 is about to get Lana Rhodes by a spin slut and a gassy crab claw on repeat. And thus 14 minutes into the game it's a good time to try W for the first time, as he remembers when his BFF Freak spoke about how long it lasts.
He can hide indefinitely.
I guess he just wanted to test that out for himself. Meanwhile, his bot's contribution to the game is comparable to an accordion player's on a deer hunt, and instead of defending against Edgar Allan Poe, they've decided that waiting 15 minutes was long enough to ram this bizzle, as the stout scrotum with 3D delts blows his entire load into a stone condom to prevent any hope at a comeback from being birthed as nighttime hits and our protagonist gets cherry bombed and blown up worse than a toilet in a juvenile detention center, which prompts him to say a few kind words around his lane opponent.
Sucks, man. I don't want to play against Katarina. Dude, it's an AIDS fucking matchup. Come on. They play against an actual mid laner, not fucking Katarina.
No, Tyler, every champion is similarly powerful according to Riot Scruffy Copium, who declared his infallible logic here.
Every champion is similarly powerful. And if every champion is similarly powerful, then all that matters are your skills.
And I know what you guys are thinking. He's 0-5, gonna be more useless than a one-legged cat trying to bury a turd on a frozen lake, but never underestimate the alpha's ability to auto once and crush a Q before running into the dizzy dancer and doing a Tarzan twirl right into the dead bitch zone, as I couldn't help but notice that someone sounded like they were being tortured in the background, but then I remembered this is a 2-streamer household, so I went to check on if Michaela was having any more luck in her game.
Why would you run to me? It doesn't make sense! Oh my...
Then, because this is League, their Jin has to be a kissless finger-pointing virgin in chat, but you don't out-shit talk someone who once got IP banned for their proficiency in the category as you can't spell fame without flame or some shit, and his comebacks can be so mean that they have zero standard deviation, to which we see Counting Dracula is just one of those players who would blame his dad's sperm cell integrity for his own failures before acknowledging the fact that he cares as much about his positioning as a porn star cares about getting her nudes leaked, so his cancerous Countin is counting backward in Fountain. As their spin-to-win knife sales lady starts treading a bit too far in the deep end, as the team's all like, give me a break of that Kit Kat bar, but what they seem to forget was that this isn't some cringe-ass construction work site commercial. This is League, so breaks of Kit Kat bars means that bitch is just gonna do a douche dash routine under your tower and then use her 85th free flash to get out.
I mean, not Katarina. Please, like, I could, like, why can't I play against the Viego or something? Like, Katarina, come on, bro.
Then we see Alpha Assassin Akshan ready for some action, aka pop out and impregnate this floating ghastly, and with the help of Dirty D the lunar lunatic we get an outcome worth celebrating over.
I mean, fucking really?
But a minute later it was go time. That's a zillion joke, as he stealth shitter slithers his way over to that floating flock of a clock before taking his good old time. That's a zillion joke to kill a squishy support with a necessary ult before hearing that Ravenclaw Roger is on a full-blown rampage, so he runs up, gets immediate cold feet, comes back and has a nightmare that he couldn't swing away from a murderer.
Tyler, how would you describe your performance in that last fight?
I lit somebody up like 4th of July. Oh, you didn't know about that.
So I guess killing time is now his favorite pastime. That's 2 zillion jokes, so he tries to quadruple Caitlyn ult the clock only to get cock blocked by a seriously swollen Swain, so despite his damage needing a few scoops of blood, rush 4 is still greater than 1, meaning all that's left to do is roll out in style. Then the next time the lights go out and the toxic tiptoe ear is volunteered as tribute, he makes sure that Nocturne pays for such a crime with 1/3 of his own health, and while it appears to me that Akshan about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle at this point, he clearly is a glass half full kind of guy.
I mean, like, right there, I did some damage. I don't know what I did, but there was damage, a lot more damage than should have been done, considering I'm 3 and not, well, 3 and whatever, 3-9.
And it's important to realize that Akshan may be a mid laner, but he is also a marksman, and if anyone saw my guide to Gothic Billy Joe Armstrong, you know what happens to marksmen when there is a Fed Nocturne on the other team. So a few more Sandusky's go down with the lights off to end the game as someone acknowledges how many coaches he has at his disposal in chat.
So many backseaters here for a new champ? Yeah, they're really good at the game. It's crazy. They know all about it.
But when a normal player would just flame his team then get off the game because his T1 probably already reminded them they have a 9 to 5 to get ready for tomorrow, he takes a different approach in practice tool. So a few minutes Tarzaning the absolute shit out of the rift later, and sure enough this genetically flawless athletic bald fig of a human was now miraculously an M7 master at Talia's boyfriend, swing shitting his way in just his second game to a pentakill, and that is why he's the alpha and we are, as he points out so elegantly,
absolute losers. You're never going to be anything when you grow up. So you sit there and watch somebody else be somebody you wish you could be online.
Rav out.
150 I spent on my neck, but no, really that's nothing compared to my debt. You're looking silly cause you're in your feelings, but really old Rabby's up next.